Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new vlog. I'm Lee from Mortgage Free Lee. I talk about money and mum life on the internet. And today we are doing my July to August budget with me. So basically we're budgeting for the summer holidays. And there is one slightly large problem with all this. It's that I am not getting paid for a week of this month. I will explain why in a moment. But needless to say, it's going to be fun trying to figure this budget out. Just to set the scene before we get started, we are a family of 4. We have 2 adults, 2 kids, 1 is 6, 1 is 2. And basically we live in the UK, so it is the school summer holidays. My daughter finishes school tomorrow. And then she is off for 6 weeks. We are parents without a village, so we have no one to help us with childcare, and we're also working parents. So my husband works full-time Monday to Friday, and I am employed and self-employed. So I work 50% of a full working week at my employed job. I do 2 10-hour days on Tuesday, Wednesday. On Mondays, I always have my son with me anyway. He doesn't have childcare on that day. So I'm always a full-time parent on Monday. And you might be thinking, well, great, Thursday, Friday, you're off. But I'm not off because I have a self-employed business, which is content creation. And I am really, really lucky to be at the point where I have a self-employed job. So I can be around, like I can guarantee I can be around regardless of annual leave for the summer holidays, at least some of the time. But content creation is a lot more labor intensive than I think some people realize. And trying to do it at the same time as caring for your child is not ideal, especially because it's a lot of time on computers and phones and screens, and it kind of makes it seem like you're not paying attention to them, you're on your phone, when actually you're working, because phones are just basically mini computers these days. So the point of that little rant was that part of our budget is going to be figuring out how to finance the childcare over the summer that will allow us to also work when we need to, and that is going to be a biggie. Let's start setting up my budget spreadsheet. This thing I bought on Etsy, it was like 74p. I think it's £1.20 something now. I will pop the link in the description box. It'll be an affiliate link just so that you know. I didn't make it, but it is perfect for my needs at the moment. It's super minimal, which is what I like. If you've watched any of these videos before, there's a whole playlist of them. You will know I like to keep my budget super duper simple. And this spreadsheet is absolutely perfect for me. I know a few of you have bought it. Do let me know in the comments if you're still enjoying it, and let's get into it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is change the month to August. I do it this way because more of our pay month is in August than it is in July, so we call it our August budget, but really it's July to August because we don't get paid on the first of the month. I don't think many people do. I already changed the dates there, and we're going to move down to the first section, which is the income section. I do have to keep these numbers grayed out because I'm not sure how much I can share about exactly how much my husband earns because he has a new job. I don't want to break any rules there, or I'll get him into any trouble. So I have to grey those numbers out, but you can see that we work off a basic budget of 4,900, but I tend to underestimate that. So we usually get paid a little bit more. This month it's not going to be like that. Now my husband hasn't actually gotten his pay slip yet when I'm doing this because we get paid at different times. So I'm going to put in what he got last month because that should have been a pretty accurate reflection of his monthly pay. Okay, so I've put in what he got paid last month, which should be the same this month. And I've also put in what I got paid this month because I have got my pay slip. And I'm getting paid about £300 less than I usually do, which is not ideal because it's already a part-time salary. Now, as you'll know if you've seen these videos before, we don't budget off my self-employed income, my income from content creation, because it's variable, it's not guaranteed, especially over summer when it can be so unpredictable. People are just not really on the internet consuming content the same. So we don't use that, we only use my part-time income. My part-time income is reduced this month because I am taking a week of unpaid parental leave. If you've never heard of that, I can do a whole entire video explaining what that is. But essentially, it is a statutory right as an employee, so if you are eligible for this, you have the right to take up to 18 weeks per child throughout the course of them being 0 to 18 years old. Some people take this at the end of their maternity leave to sort of extend that period. I actually didn't know this existed until a few years ago. And I've basically chosen to start taking this unpaid leave because as parents who don't have a village, our annual leave just doesn't stretch far enough. It honestly feels like my daughter is on school break all of the time. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love having her here. I am so excited for it to be the summer holidays and for her to be off. The school routine doesn't really suit me personally at this point in my life, especially with the ridiculous school holiday rules. But that's a whole different video. So my annual leave just doesn't stretch far enough. My husband also takes annual leave, so don't think it's just me. He takes annual leave to help care for my daughter as well. So over summer, basically the plan is I'm going to have 1 week of unpaid parental leave. I'm going to have 2 weeks of annual leave. My husband's going to have 2 weeks of annual leave. then I think we're splitting it in the last week before she goes back to school. So I'll have a day, he'll have a day. So it's my working days, Tuesday, Wednesday, where we'll be taking leave, each of us. Then 1 day a week, she will be going to childcare, which I will explain the cost of that as we get up to that section. So she'll be having 1 day of paid childcare per week. That is so I can do some work on my self-employed business. And then the other day of the week, I had a discussion with her, which was basically, you can either go to club and sort of have the day full of activities there, or you can stay with me, but you have to understand that I'll also be working a little bit. So it won't be a day where I can concentrate solely on you. And I knew she would much rather hang out at home with me, even if I am doing a little bit of work, doing a few different bits and bobs, than go to paid childcare. Why, I don't know, because paid childcare, like the schedule, is so much fun, but I guess she just wants to be with mama. And how can I be mad about that? So that's what's going on. That's why I'm getting paid less. That's why you're going to see some changes and challenges in this budget. So let's get on with it. So you can see the result of all that has been that we actually are undershooting our budget. So we're not getting paid as much as I budget off. This is a problem, obviously. However, there is a bit of a method in my madness. So I take off my unpaid week of leave the week that we're going on holiday. And my theory is that that week has been separately paid and budgeted for by our holiday fund. So it kind of offsets the issue a little bit. Hopefully you'll see what I mean when we get through the rest of the budget. So the first section we're going to do is sinking funds. I always do my sinking funds first. I have 2 sinking funds. The first is for holiday, which is £300 a month. So we're going to type that in. The second is essentials. So that's for car insurance, car tax, house insurance, management fees, quite a lot of things that other people pay monthly. I have an essentials sinking fund for them. We just had to get new tyres and brakes in the car. It was £450. It came from my sinking fund. In the past, my head might have fallen off at the need to find £450 with no warning. So that is why we love a sinking fund. So my sinking funds are £700, and you can see that populates up here at the top and all totals itself up. Next, we'll move over to the bills section. Not a lot is changing in terms of bills. I do have a couple of things that I've left the amounts on for so that you can see. Again, the things that I need to keep my eye on. Our broadband contract is ending. That's why I've left that one on there to remind myself we need to have a look at that. Renegotiate, switch. Should always switch your utilities. Got Spotify on there because I'm thinking about going back to the free version of Spotify because we're just not using it as much. But everything else, council tax, Netflix, mortgage, all that good stuff, it's all staying the same, so there's no need to go through that. I'm not sure about my husband's mobile contract when that's up, so I've left that on there. And childcare, childcare is the one that is possibly going to cause me problems this month. I will preface this by saying that I am not solely responsible for childcare fees in our house. We budget as a household, as you will well know if you've seen these videos before. All of our money goes into one pot. We budget as a household. All expenses are a burden on everyone's shoulders. But the easiest way to illustrate to you how expensive childcare is and my childcare situation is to show you a comparison with my salary. So this month, it is highly likely that my childcare bills will be more than I get paid. Now, I will be using tax-free childcare to save 20% of the cost, but it's still gonna cost me the majority out of pocket of the amount of money that I got paid. So let's have a look at it. I might have to have a little cry at some point. So my son's childcare fees will stay the same, which are just his full childcare fees. So that is staying the same at $750, which I had to increase last time we did this budget because childcare fees are just eating up all of my money. What I will say is roll on September 1st because I am praying to see the benefit of his 30 hours free. So as of the 1st of September, he will be eligible for 30 hours free. He's currently on 15. I'm not anticipating a huge drop in the cost, but I am anticipating some drop in the cost. So I cannot wait to see my childcare bill on the 1st of September to see what the difference is going to be. But for August, I'm going to be paying around £750 out of my pocket. His bill will actually be over £900, but we'll use tax-free childcare to offset that extra bit, which I'm very grateful to have. It's actually my daughter's childcare fees that are going to cause the biggest issue. That is because I have to pay 2 different sets of childcare fees. Again, it's just the way the childcare fees work. So I'm going to get her bill for wraparound care probably in the next few days. because she's finished school, so they're going to want paying for the wraparound care that she's had sooner than usual. So because it hasn't been a full month, it should be slightly cheaper than usual, but I think it's still going to be about £150, which will mean about 120 of that will come out of our pocket. So if we start with 120, now I'm just checking how much Holiday Club is going to cost me per week. I know it's around the £42, £45 mark. She's going for 5 days over the course of the summer, so 1 day a week for 5 weeks. It's £47 a day. Some of you are going to say that's cheap, but she gets a 10% sibling discount, so that's £42.30 per day, times 5, £211 and 5p. Then if we take off the tax-free childcare for her, it's going to be about £170 coming out of our pocket. So I'm actually going to budget £300 just to be on the safe side for her childcare fees, which is obviously £85 more than I usually budget in the month when I'm getting paid less than usual. Oh, to be a working parent. So this is all populated over here in this section, and it's showing that we're left with £1,572. So now we've come over to the variable budget section. This is where my logic about taking the unpaid week when we go on holiday comes into play, because obviously our usual variable budget is based on a whole entire month. But on holiday, none of those variable expenses are going to apply because we're not going to be driving anywhere, we're not going to be buying groceries, our entertainment is included, we won't be buying miscellaneous things. If we are, it will come out of the small holiday budget that we have. So I'm actually going to reduce the food spend for this month, and I've thought about what to reduce it to because, as you know, I have trouble sticking to the food budget and we only just increased this one. I'm going to reduce it to £450 because that gives me £150 a week if I go over. Also, when we come back off holiday, the fridge and cupboards are going to be burst, so we're going to have to do a bit of restocking. So I'm going to reduce it to £450 to save myself £100, try and claw this budget back into existence. I am going to leave fun and miscellaneous the same, just because it's school summer holidays. So we are going to be doing more activities, going out more, doing a bit more fun stuff that might cost more money than usual. I really enjoy taking my daughter out for special days out, but I'm definitely looking for budget friendly activities. I've just managed to book us both to go to the cinema for £1 each. £1 each for a cinema ticket. That is just stunning. That's a Cineworld offer if anyone's in the UK. Petrol I actually might reduce to £2.50 because I wasn't confident that we were spending £300 on petrol anyway. I won't even be driving to work for 2 weeks. I just think we can handle it. So that's brought our variable expenses £150 under, which hopefully will offset the childcare issue. Let's just call it the childcare issue at the moment. It's a sore subject. So this is populated over here, and it's telling me that of the money I expect that we're going to actually get in the house, we'll have £372 and 26p left. Now I am going to be really sensible. I'm going to send £200 to our credit card, but we do have a potential, not a windfall coming. We have some savings that are coming back to us. I can explain all that when they actually arrive. But our plan is to pay off our credit card with those and then reset our holiday fund so that it works a full 12 months in advance, because the way my holiday sinking fund works at the moment is that it starts on January 1st and it runs to December. We obviously go on holiday in the middle of the year. So we have half saved in advance, which we can pay off. We always pay for holidays on the credit card to get the Section 75 protection. But then for the rest of these 6 months, we are holding a credit card balance that we have to keep paying off every month once that holiday money comes in. If we use this money to pay off our credit card in full, that will wipe out the last 6 months that we're currently waiting for each month to pay off the holiday, and mean that we start now accumulating money for next year's holiday, so that by the time we get there, the whole 12 months worth of saving has been done. I hope this makes sense. It makes sense in my brain. Doesn't always mean I can explain it very well, but that is what I would like to do. I would love to have no credit card left, even though a lot of it is money that we are saving every single month for a holiday that we just have to pay for in the middle of the year because that's when it is. So I'm going to allocate £200 to our credit card because I want it gone. And that is updated over here and shows me I've got £172 left. That £172 I am leaving as a buffer. I'm leaving it as a buffer because I do not want to spend my child's summer holidays that I feel so lucky and fortunate to be able to be here for so much of them. Because I am employed, I can't guarantee that I will always get leave. And I've got 3 weeks off, which is just unheard of. I don't think I've ever had 3 weeks off work, ever. So I do not want to be worrying about money and feeling like I can't take her on days out, because I really miss her, you know. I really miss her now she's at school. And I love having these summer holidays as a bit of one-on-one time on the days that I'm not with my son. So I'm really excited to have that time with her, and I want to have a buffer of a little bit of extra money. And also, if we buy snacks at the airport, etc., that kind of stuff, I just want to keep a buffer this month. So we can actually write that into the budget as a £150 buffer. And now you can see that basically we have hybrid zero budgeted our way through August. We've given all of our money a job to do before we even got it. And that is essentially what a zero-based budget is. I kind of do mine to my own needs, adapt it to my own style. You should do you. One size definitely doesn't fit all. But that is my July to August budget. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any questions about unpaid parental leave. Let me know if you have any suggestions for how I could have improved this budget. How do you think we're doing in a month where we're paying more for childcare than I'm actually getting paid? Whatever you do drop me a comment. You have no idea how much dropping a comment on a video like this can help a little channel like mine. I'm Lee from Mortgage Freely. I talk about money and mum life on the internet. We do budget with me's, we go to Aldi a lot, we sort my life out. We will be sorting my life out next week. We will be rage decluttering my house because I am at this level of overwhelm right now. So if you'd like to see that, do click subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.